Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy X. We are officially in the end game with the defeat of Maester Seymour and just having full access to Sin. We can now finish our monster capturing collection. And so we're just in the area just after Seymour's arena, this kind of dystopian ruined city kind of vibe. And this is the big boy that we are looking for. Barbatos, really big fiend here. Basically, you want to keep armor breaking it, and as soon as he is inflicted with the condition of armor break, he will mortar. So that's when you kind of know you can change to that battle plan. And if you have quick hit with like Titus, Riku, and Orin, you can just change to quick hits. It'll recharge quicker on the ATB. And you'll have less kind of counterattacks to deal with. But like really it's just attack until you've captured it. And then once you've fully captured everything in Sin, you get another kind of, reward for collecting all 10. But the final reward that we're going to be getting in this episode is going to be for capturing every single fiend. Like 10 of every single fiend in every single area, and that's going to be the 99 dark matters. So when we finish the 10 of every fiend in the Omega ruins, that's going to be a pretty awesome reward, I'm not gonna lie. But in Sin, if you step on those little S symboled platforms, you either step on them or you use the action button on them, and they will do certain things with the environment, like act as elevators or act as bridges to be pushed down. And you just get a good amount of useful items here, whether they be weapons to sell, realistically, because we're at the time of the game where we have our celestial weapons and we have our AP weapons, and beyond that, there's not much else we need, really. But there's definitely some useful stuff, so definitely run down here, collect all the chests, because there's some stat spheres, which is quite useful. There's some gil there, even more useful. But up here is some HP spheres. We are going to need a lot of those. We're going to also need a lot of luck spheres, a lot of fortune spheres, because in the next episode we're going to be starting our stat maxing grind. But just to say, this was one of the last areas of the game that we need to catch fiends for, and this is kind of going to be a monster arena special and blitzball special because we are concluding our celestial weapon collection. It is super duper exciting. We are super vibing for that. So the last one to get is Wakka, which means it is blitzball all day, every day later on in this episode. But until then, we've finished off collecting inside Sins. We're going to just run quickly back to the monster arena, collect our prize, and then start our collection in the Omega ruins and actually fight Omega. We didn't even finish that dungeon. We just basically got a couple of fiends, unlocked one eye from collecting all the flying fiends, and happy days, we were able to do our AP grind. But yeah, the main thing is the Tombrees. They are super duper painful. Painful to find, super duper annoying. But if you run up and beyond this pedestal, because that brings us to Omega, that kind of continues the boss fight. But there is one handy collectible. If you kind of run in a circle, there's a little hidden alcove, I suppose, or corridor to the left hand side. This activates a glyph. You run back to the glyph that was unresponsive previously, and you get access to I think it returns there. Overall, it's not that major of a thing. But just to say, you run back, activate this glyph, now the other glyph is working, and you can run and skedaddle and get a cool kind of screensaver-esque shot of the Omega ruins as you run up along this really thin corridor. Can be cool. Maybe if you like it, that's a vibe. I think it's a return sphere or a teleport sphere. I can't fully remember, but it's nothing you can't farm in the monster arena either. But still, it's a thing of what does that glyph do? Why doesn't it work? That's how you activate it. This is what it does. And you get a cool, I suppose, overarching view of the depths of the Omega dungeon. But we are going to, and here is where I have a massive disclaimer. Do not do what I do in this video, because I forget to change my capture weapons for Riku, and Riku's capture weapon has distilled mana automatically equipped, so I lose out on getting a bunch of level 4 locks from this. Super annoying because I just get 3 mana spheres, and this is supposed to be level 4 locks. That's meant to be the drop. But anywho, on to the boss fight with the ultimate weapon. So this is like a shadow or a warm-up to the Omega boss fight.
You're kidding.
So can't flee, and with the ultimate weapon you can steal Door to Tomorrows. Very useful. And like, I don't know why I stole and we have Mug, because it's like do damage and steal. Why not do damage and steal? But yeah, at that moment when I mugged with Riku, I then realized, oh no, don't have my capture weapons, or don't have my celestial weapons, and after attacking with Mug, so really if I had a stolen I would have kind of gotten away with it instead of Mug, but anyway, he's not going to be too challenging. Like, we're kind of at the stage now where we're pretty beefy, we're pretty strong, and like Lulu has her celestial weapons. We're gonna just flare 4 days, break damage limit, magic booster, you know, over 10, over 9 to 9 damage. And yeah, why am I attacking our celestial weapons? I'm being such a goof. But Lulu being our evasive black mage, as always. Riku, we are not running. What is funny is you can bribe this enemy. This boss can literally be paid money to go away, which is quite funny. But, as I say, super annoyed. I attacked with like the capture weapons. Should have just done celestial weapons and we would have gotten a much better drop from beating the boss. But basically, not too challenging. And then it's like, oh, that was a bit of a letdown. And then we learn this is actually just a projection of Omega's fury. And he's sending a doppelganger of himself in. So that was ultimate weapon. And now we're going to fight the Omega weapon himself. And super frustrated that I didn't bring Owl Orin in or give him a turn. That was a bit of a fault on my side. But yeah, that should have been 3 level 4 key spheres, and I'm super duper annoyed. Yeah, didn't realize I could skip those bits of dialogue. But absolutely, we're like, that wasn't really Omega. We're just going to reuse the assets, paint him a different colour, and like make him a much tougher boss. But I suppose it's a good like gauge as to, are you ready? Because if you can't beat this boss, then we are definitely not vibing with that. But I do a heap of like sphere grid moving, and as you're going along, this can actually be quite a handy way of capturing those little rare Tonberries, because they kind of appear an awful lot in this area, and you have kind of selected areas that you have to fight things in. And so you just run along, fill in the map, and approach this cloudy area for the Omega boss fight. Now what you have to do is use Lancet on this bad boy, and that will unlock Kimarhi's final overdrive. He's learned all the Fiend techniques, and you get an achievement for learning every Lancetable overdrive for Kimarhi, which is super cool. Stealing tons of Gambler Spirits, absolutely amazing. Drops for ourselves, can do super useful mix overdrives with Riku for our future jaunt into you know, the end game super bosses. And with that, we've Lanceted. He has learned Nova, a super powerful magic spell, absolutely amazing for Kimarhi, and it doesn't pop, but I have also earned the learning achievement, I think that's what it's called, the one where you get all the abilities from all the overdrives for Kimarhi, basically. So pretty much every character has had an achievement tied to like their progression. So like Wakka has one for learning all the blitz reels, like all the different reels. We have Kimarhi for all the overdrives. We have Yuna for technically all the overdrives as well, because she has to get all her Aeons. We have Tidus for getting a celestial weapon and everything. With a separate achievement from Lulu for dodging all the lightning for her celestial weapon. We've one for Riku for stealing loads, one for bribing loads, which is technically like another Riku skill, bribe and steal. We've one for Oren for collecting all of his jet spheres and getting all of these his overdrives as well. So yeah, like that's everybody in the party having kind of achievement directly tied to them and their kind of character progression. And like super awkward that like Yuna doesn't have like petrification protection there. But yeah, as I say, just go along, have all your celestial weapons equipped before you go into the fight and save a turn of, fucking change them over. But as I say, we have tons of Abed potions, we are in no fear whatsoever. And then, now that you have your Celestials out, just make sure your characters are at max hit points, because with Riku and Tidus there is a damage modifier to their attacks based on how high their HP is. And then for Oren, his damage modifier is based on how low his HP is. And we kind of discussed that previously when we were looking at the One-Eye fight. But once again, super useful, super high damage, like in the, max damage range there. And there is also achievement for meeting the max damage or dealing the max damage in one single attack. So once you start doing that with your high strength and your celestial weapons, you will also unlock that achievement. And Riku just being so fast, like attack after attack after attack. And if I was being clever, I would have had Oren lose a good amount of HP, so he's doing potentially max damage as well. But Demi can sort him down into orange health there, so he'll be doing more and more damage. As you notice as well, the other guys doing less damage, and if I had to put them back up to full health, I maybe could have gotten an overkill. But that is Omega dealt with, and with his demise, we get another achievement as well. We have just been so achievement heavy this episode, which is great, because ultimately it's what we want to be doing in this series. Bit ironic coming from you, Oren, you undead fuck.
Find your peace on the far plane.
But I love him. I still love him so. But yeah, that's what I should have gotten from the other Ultimate Weapon fight, 3 key spheres, but you are then teleported back to the fucking start of the yoke. And as you would have seen in the cutscene, there's like a treasure chest. But, gosh, really jarring cut there. Surprised me watching it there. But your main goal is just to get wins in Blitzball, and this is one of the main ways to do it. Just score some early goals with Jack Shot and have Brother waste some time here. But yeah, you are literally just going to sit behind goal once you're in the lead, and once you're behind goal, as you can see, your allies don't know what to do. They just swim in a circle. The enemy can't find you. They just swim in a circle. And you can, in fact, comment in the comments below. Do you think I am, not good for using this method? Do you use a different method? Do you just play the Blitzball normally? I probably would play Blitzball normally, except it takes fucking ages, and I don't find it a fun, distracting minigame. But at the end of this one, we earn another one of Wakka's overdrives from just completing another league. So, yeah, not a vibe to do this manually. But as I say, all you really need is Brother to get a good few passes. He gets to a super high level. Once your midfield is sorted, even Brother, as you can see there, is able to collect goals himself. He got 3 goals overall, 4 goals. The tournament's over. We came first. We now have Auric reels. We have all 4 of the reels for Wakka unlocked. do the same thing with, you know, the status reels in a tournament and whatever else. But realistically, you then get back to a league. Apologies. So there was, you know, status reels in a league. So it literally goes tournament for attack reels, league for status reels, tournament for Auric reels, and then league for the Sigil, which obviously the leagues are the long 10 matches and certain points for wins, loss, whatever else the case may be. And I'm not going to show it here, I'm just going to show snippets. Basically, you're going to then reset the data because you'd have to do an entire new league to get new league prizes that include the Sigil for Wakka, or you can just bite the bullet, reset the data, and then once it's reset, bam, Jupiter Sigil is there. And so cancel, go and recruit Wakka and Brother from the airship. And so recruit them. You're only going to need them for 10 games. So you don't even need to do 21 like I did. You just have them for 10 games. That's it. It's nice that you can now fully read all the subtitles. And it's nice that Brother, you know, made an attempt to speak, you know, English, I suppose, or, you know, the non-Abed language, but it's nice to let him and like hear the inflection of like stuff like that. Me too, Riku, me too.
Sometimes when I got a lot on my mind, it just helps to go.
Yeah, like when we think back to part 1 and all the drama with Titus in the beginning.
You've proven yourself as a guardian, maybe even as the best.
I'd like to
Oren just wants to save Spira and then die happy knowing Spira is safe.
I will leave.
100%. And so here we are, round 1. And this is going to be one of the most crucial, you know, elements of your Blitzball strategy. So here are the positions. You can have Roxas and Wakka in front, and then Brother in midfield, and the 2 other defender guys in the back. Because you 100% want to have the guy with 10 attack. And yeah, so your defenders have to have high attack basically. And you want your forwards obviously to have high shoot. And I kind of messed it up there, but it's basically Roxas. And then you can have Wakka as the 2 forwards. Brother in the midfield because he's just overpowered and really simple to get from the airship. And then you have Boja, Jasu, Kipa. And then here is the deal. Wakka already starts with like an ability, and when you mark people, you have the chance to learn their abilities if you press X. But that's only when they use the abilities in the Blitzball game. And ideally, we are not having them have the ball or use abilities ever, because once they have abilities and use them and pass the ball and attempt to shoot and all the rest of it, they gain experience points doing that. And so our strategy is basically to have Brother catch the ball, turn to manual, okay, swim back to the bottom left corner, pass the ball backwards and forwards between our defenders, let them get super, super high levels. And I don't do this in this recording, but like I should have done it, okay, so like my hindsight 2020 brain. Before the first round is over, you need to pass it to Titus or Roxas, you know what I mean? You have to pass it to him and then make him shoot once before the second half begins, because he will level up during the midfield halftime, I should say, change. But this is basically what we're doing. We are pumping our midfielder and our backline super, super high levels because they are gaining experience points every time they successfully pass to one another. And literally, Brother, you see, is so strong in all of the amount of HP he is spending to pass, because it's literally in relation to how much HP you're spending for your skill. But the higher the skill is, the more distance the ball can travel. That's kind of the whole vibe with this. And basically, yeah, what I should have done, and then, you know, once you're kind of running low on your HP, you can basically, once you get to kind of the 40-second mark, even if you just, what I should have done was pass it to Roxas and shoot, really, but look at it, it couldn't have been helped, because by the time this animation finishes, it's over. No time. We're literally on the 5th minute, and once he even does anything, it's over. But what's nice is that brother got stopped, and so they gain XP for, you know, surviving tackles or tackling or whatever else. And so there, that guy only got a tiny bit of experience. And then, as we can see from Boda and Jasu, they got tons of experience just passing it around the place. Brother didn't get as many because he is actually so expensive to pass. I couldn't pass as many times with him, whereas the other guys are passing more often because their pass is you know, a smaller pay. You know, their pass only 6 and 8, whereas Brother's using 15 every single time he wants to pass, so he can't pass as much. But again, what should have happened, Roxas should have been passed or shot the ball once. He would have leveled up, gotten, you know, the eject shot, and then we would have won this fight, or match I should say. But we unfortunately only draw. But listen, you can draw a few times, but once you literally have eject shot, use Brother to get Tidus to the goal, score a goal. You know, use your really high level defenders that you've been like grinding up in the first halves of every game to literally obliterate the attacking player, get the ball back, pass to Brother, and our Brother sit behind, you know, enemy lines. That's all you have to do. And you see, once you literally win a game, that's it. Like, you've 1 point, you've won the game, you get the 3 points. It doesn't matter how many points you score, you're not looking for the top score, you are literally just trying to just make sure you don't lose a game to give other teams the points to get really high points. And once your defenders and backline are like super high level, then you are sorted, you know? Because as well as that, the timer goes through all these different animations. So even if you have like this, 3 people blocking you, just shoot. Because by the time all of these different animations play out, you're going to run out of time and you're sorted, you know? And what's really important is these characters aren't leveling. Because they aren't passing or getting to do any actions or tackling or anything else, they aren't gaining experience. So they're staying really low levels. And like, that's what's super annoying. I should have passed to Roxas. We should have gotten a win there, really. Because wins are 3 points and ties and losses are, well, losses are 1 point, and ties seem to be 1 point as well. That's what's stupid. Ties should be 2 points. But anyway, this is a much more productive game. We have been leveling, we have been using Brother and Roxas to score, and like that, winning 4-0, you know, super duper handy. And again, they're getting like little to no experience. The keeper's getting experience because he's fucking getting shots fired at him like all the time. And then here is just, you know, our front line getting all the experience, and Brother just has to level up. Brother just is going to be so high level because he's just constantly passing, shooting, you know, what have you. And then that's a much more realistic collection of wins and losses, you know? Just put them in, sit your guys back, let the timer tick by, and keep winning your Blitzball games that way. And after 5 more rounds from this one, you know, you win your 10 rounds and you have a successful win ratio, and you will eventually get your Jupiter Sigil and never, ever have to play this godforsaken minigame ever again. But this isn't the worst one. There's still that Chocobo race in Remium Temple. Because while we got the Celestial Mirror for winning it the first time, there is an achievement for getting 5 treasure chests and winning. And I have still to do that. So, like, looking back at these examples of, you know, mini games, I was like, oh, this is like hours of my life just playing this little mini game. But once again, here we have started. It's actually like a tie. We're doing like, you know, the Luca goers are a strong sorry, some slight technical difficulties. But yeah, we're kind of 2-2 in this situation, and like that, the animation delay kind of messes up there. We end in a tie, but again, like, Brother is just gaining so much experience because he's getting the ball, doing tackles, everything else. So like, super good. And even with a tie, we're still, you know, 11 points now into the 5th round, and just keep doing that, keep winning, and end up claiming the Jupiter Sigil as your prize. Up by this stage, you know the drill. Run to Makalania, complete the ritual, and have Wakka get his celestial weapon. And now all of them are completely completed. We are done. Checklist over. So, yeah, what an achievement. If you're playing along, well done. You now have all your celestial weapons. And next episode, we are going to go to the arena, finish the arena, and then now start to perfect the sphere grid. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.